What is up, everybody? J Nell here with my UFC 202 recap video. I hope you saw it happen last night, and it was a great event. I only caught the main card, but I got 4 out of my 7 predictions, which is a little over 500, so I can't complain. I did not see the prelims, but I know I lost my pick of Neil Magny to beat Lawrence Larkin. I'm sure that was a great fight. Someone let me know what happened. I didn't see the prelims either, but I know that I got my pick of Cody Garbrandt to beat Takeya Mitsugaki. Someone let me know what happened in that fight. On to the main card. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that even though there were some fight changes, I still made predictions, so you gotta follow me everywhere. Even though Strickland pulled out, I switched my pick to Tim Means, and I got the pick. He beat Sabah Hamasi in the second round. I was surprised Hamasi got out of the first. Tim Means, he looked like the veteran. He was more comfortable. He found the range first, and when he found it, you know, he's the dirty bird. When he gets into a brawl, finds his range, and gets you reeling. Elbows, sharp elbows to the face. The punching power, getting up against the cage. He has a smothering offense when he knows he has you reeling, and that's what he did. Hamasi survived the first round, but was quickly finished in the second. Good win for Tim Means. Who would you like to see him fight next? I actually want to see him fight Strickland. Strickland's one of my guys to watch, and I was really looking to see how he would handle the veteran Tim Means, so I'd still like to see that fight happen. You let me know who you would like Tim Means to fight next. Next up, I did not get my pick. I stuck with Hugh Guy Lim to beat Mike Perry. Didn't know much about Mike Perry. Mike Perry, I asked somebody. A heck of a debut from the weigh-ins when he went, Hugh Guy Lim went to shake his hands. He like went psych or something like that, he said, and then did like a Power Ranger pose and screamed and walked off. I was like, well, he left a nice little impression there. And then as the fight started, it ended in the first round, and they said that he had some punching power, and they were not lying. The punch that started it all didn't even seem like it was that hard. Clipped him, knocked him down on the ground, ground and pound. He stood back up, clipped him again, knocked him down, ground and pound. There was a couple of times I actually thought this fight should have been stopped. I think it went on longer than it should have, but this was a great first round stoppage from Mike Perry. Great debut. Who would you like to see him fight next? Next up, I got my pick of Donald the Cowboy Cerrone to beat Rick the Horror Story. I wasn't sure how it would go, if it would be a short fight, long fight, short fight. And Donald he's looking so good at welterweight. This was another pro performance and a pretty combination that started it. So they're going back and forth, filling each other out. Rick was he landed some shots as well. But on the outside range, Donald was a much more proficient striker, and that's kind of how this started. He was getting him on the outside range, but then he came in with a 3-piece combination that was so pretty. Started off with a punch to the body, gut. You saw the ripple go through the solar plex, and then he bent down to grab his stomach, and then he came over, I believe it was with the left, and hit him in the face, bow. And then Donald came up with the kick to the head and kicked him in the head, bow, and knocked him down on the ground. Ground and pound, ref stoppage, out. This was a pro win, another pro win, and a very pretty win, a pretty combination, devastating gut shot. You couldn't ask for more. You couldn't ask for more, but then he called out, of course, the lightweight champ, Eddie Alvarez, because he's beat him before. You know, if you're going to let Conor McGregor skip around and do whatever he wants, then I say let Cowboy get the title shot, and if he beats Eddie Alvarez, then let him fight whoever, Conor McGregor or something like that. But if other people can bounce around, Donald Cerrone has a big name. He's a draw and has always been a draw. Let him bounce around. Donald, call out Eddie Alvarez. Get you that title fight at the lightweight division. Get it, Donald. Get it. Now, co-main event, I got this pick as well. I chose Rumble Johnson, Anthony Rumble Johnson, to beat Glover Teixeira. And I don't think anybody expected this to end in 13 seconds. We all know that Anthony Johnson can knock you out in 13 seconds, but we didn't think it was going to happen to Glover, but it did. There's nothing to recap. 13 seconds, he clipped him like on the second exchange with a little uppercut that just turned his whole head sideways, fell flat face, head face down on the ground, and then when he woke up, he tried to grapple Dan Murgalati. I tore his name up, my bad. This was a devastating knockout. When he got up, he immediately tried to take down Dan. There was several people around him like, Glover, hold up. The fight is over. So another devastating knockout from Anthony Rumble Johnson. And he will be fighting DC next. That's pretty much already been set in stone. I don't see why that would change. And let's see if he's improved. I'm ready for it. Now, main event, and I did not get my pick. That's why there's no red panties. I chose my boy, Nate Diaz, to beat Conor McGregor, and the judges said that he did not. Sorry, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but it was a split decision? No, a majority decision, I believe it was, in favor of Conor McGregor, and I disagree. Yeah, bring it on. I'm sorry. The reason why the person who does the most damage doesn't necessarily win the fight is for people precisely like a Nate Diaz. If you know anything about the Diaz brothers, they have so much scar tissue that if I punch Nate in the face, I'm gonna draw blood. Okay, and I'm serious. I'm actually dead serious about that. That's how much scar tissue the man has. And then you compare them to fighters like, say, a Roy Nelson. Roy Nelson can take 8 kicks to the face and barely have a little swelling. People are different. They damage differently. They bleed differently. That's why you can't just simply judge on damage. Of course, it's a factor. Of course, it's a factor. But that's why you can't purely judge on damage, because people damage differently. You have to. I think they're going to go away from judging rounds individually. If you heard the new ABC rules and stuff like that, they're trying to encourage more two-point rounds and things of that nature. And I disagree with a lot of that. We'll see what happens. But let's go ahead and get into the fight. First round, Conor McGregor got the jump on him just like he did last time. He even got a knockdown. Of course, he drew blood because I can draw blood on Nate Diaz. Anyway. Totally won the first round. Like I said, got the knockdown, drew blood, busted him up. Punching wise, he landed more shots. They landed the harder shots. He controlled the pace. He controlled the tempo. He was the one moving forward. He won round 1. Okay, I just try to make that real clear for the McGregor nuts. Now, round 2, he started off doing the same, and then even I didn't know what happened. All of a sudden, Nate just started whooping him up, and I didn't know what happened because he was doing well. I said, "What happened?" And then it was, "Oh, he got tired." I was like, "It's only round 2. It's in the beginning of round 2, Conor. What happened? You just got tired." And it was so noticeable. And it took me off guard. I don't even know how that happened. But then Nate took advantage, honey. He started getting the better of the punching game. He started getting him up against the fence. And he ruled the dirty boxing. I don't know what Conor McGregor's corner was talking about. They kept telling him that he was winning the dirty boxing, the cage fighting. He was not. That was the only place where Nate was definitely beating him. Either way, round 2, Nate Diaz. Round 3, even more Nate Diaz. Outlining him with the punch combination. Get him up against the cage. He tried for some takedowns. Couldn't take him down. Conor's takedown defense is excellent. Let me give him that as well. But pressuring him against the cage, laying on him, landing the shots, landing the knees, uppercuts, and all of that. And of course, Conor was giving it back, but he was getting way more than he was giving up against that cage. He lost rounds 2 and 3. Round 4, Conor found a second win because I believe Nate began to tire a little bit too. Every time Nate would punch him, he'd flip him off and things of that nature. He started getting his swag, talking smack in that 3rd round. 4th round, Conor, I believe, found a second win. He began moving forward again. He began landing punches again. I believe he even knocked down Nate in that round again. It might have even been twice in that 4th round. I think there was a 2 knockdown round. So round 4, even though Nate, at the end of round 4, again began the momentum swing back to Nate Diaz. This was a heck of a fight. I didn't say that. I should have said that at the beginning. On both men account, great fight from both men. Let me just give that up too. So then the momentum actually swung back to Nate in that 4th round. But I thought that Conor won enough of the 4th round to say 4th round Conor McGregor. So rounds 1-4 Conor, 2-3 Nate. We are 2-2 going into round 5, people. And I'm sorry, Nate Diaz won round 5. Period. And that is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. We can talk about it if you want. In fact, I'd like to talk about it. Let's talk about round 5. So Conor, again, was landing shots. Again, was moving forward. He started to win. That second win that he caught was starting to give out on him a little bit, too. And once that happens, Nate picks up on it. He starts to move forward. He starts to press him up against the cage. And again, the cage, fighting the dirty boxing, was all Nate Diaz. Conor was not winning him. He managed to reverse him once or twice, but majority of that round was spent with Nate laying on Conor McGregor up against the cage, landing more shots, period. There was a nice elbow that Conor landed that really cut him up, or that really turned his head, but then Nate immediately gave him that same elbow right back. And then, of course, he ended that round by actually finally getting the takedown and ending that round on top. Round 5, Nate Diaz. 3-2, Nate Diaz. Let's talk about it. I disagree with the judges, so we'll see what happens. They're talking about a rubber match at 155. If that happens, just please give up the featherweight belt, please, please. Just give up the belt, and don't ever do an interim championship for when your champion is injured. again, please, UFC, I hope you learned your lesson from that and not let, let that happen again. So give up the featherweight belt. If you have the fight again at 155, I'm not sure. Donald Cerrone, get your McGregor on. Get you that title shot against Eddie Alvarez. And then if Donald gets the belt, I kind of actually want to see Conor and Donald Cerrone go at it. Kind of. So that's my recap. That's my opinion. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for it. Like I said, I like to talk about it, so let's talk about it. But like I said, 3-2, Nate Diaz. Let me know how you did on your picks. Let me do the injury updates. Let me know about Strickland. What is his injury? How soon can he come back? And of course, I'm not a judge. They gave the fight to Conor McGregor, and he fought great. This was a great fight. So I don't want my opinion take away from the fact that Conor McGregor lasted 5 rounds, gave it his all, probably broke his foot in the process. He worked very hard, had a very good showing. This was a great performance from both fighters. I just want to make that very clear. But I have my opinion, 3-2 Diaz. Let me know what you thought. Any injury updates, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I will have 15-second recap videos. I'm on Snapchat now. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care, and goodbye.